morning. I woke up when I heard someone knocking on my door. The door slightly opened, showing one of her maid. She came inside my room and bowed to me. "Good morning, young master," she smiled. I checked my phone to see the time and I was already getting angry because it's only 7:30 in the morning and no one ever dared to disturb my sleep. "What the hell is wrong with you? Why the fuck did you wake me up this early?" he shouted. She flinched and put her head down before answering. "Young master, Mr. Park told me to wake you up because you have to get ready for office. Whatever, you can leave now." She bowed and immediately left the room. "Oh, why is he doing this? Everything in the house is making me annoyed." I got up from my bed and headed towards the bathroom while yawning. I did my morning routine and took a warm shower before heading downstairs. Living room. I came downstairs and saw Dad was doing some work. I went and sat next to him. He kept his laptop aside and looked at me. "Jimina, you look so good in this suit," he smiled. "You know, I always dreamed of seeing you as the CEO of the company. I'm so happy today. You fulfilled my wish, son." He slowly carried his hand on Jimin's hair. Jimin did not protest this time. He also wanted to feel his dad's affection. After a long silence, Youngi came downstairs and stood in front of Mr. Park. "Good morning, Mr. Park," he smiled and bowed respectfully. "Good morning, son. You look good in this suit. Come, let's have a breakfast or you guys will be late." Jimin in mind. "You're looking so handsome in this suit." "Yeah, what is wrong with you, Jimina? He's your enemy and you are straight." Jimin came out of his thoughts when Youngi greeted him. "Good morning, sir. You're looking good in this suit." "Yeah, whatever." He rolled his eyes and walked away. Youngi in mind, ungrateful brat. "But his minion is looking handsome today," he said and left to have his breakfast. Mr. Park called Jimin. "Jimina, come sit. Today is your first day in office, so I made your favorite dish." Jimin smiled a little and sat next to his dad. "Youngi, what are you doing there? Come here, sit with us." "Dad, why are you calling him? He can have his breakfast in the living room. He doesn't need to sit with us." "Jimin, he's not an outsider. He's also like my son, so you better think before you speak," he said in a very stern voice. Jimin in mind. Why is Dad taking his side? It's so annoying. I then looked at Youngi, who was looking at me with a smirk. Jimin in mind. Why the hell is he smirking? Once Dad leaves, I will teach him a lesson. I shot him a dead glare and continued eating my breakfast. "Jimina, I will have to leave early today. You come with Youngi. He's going to guide you there and he knows everything about our company, so no need to worry." "But I don't want to go with him." "Jimin, you have not finished your breakfast yet, and if I wait for you, then I'll be late, so come with Youngi." He then turned his head towards Youngi. Youngi helped me with everything. He then came close to Youngi and acted like he was hugging him. He slowly whispered in his ear, "Please forgive him if he misbehaves, and please control your anger." "Don't worry, uncle. I know to control spoiled brats. You go to your office, I will bring him. If he doesn't come, then I will have my own ways," he said while smirking. After 30 minutes, Jin was still eating his breakfast very slowly. Youngi was getting annoyed by now. "This idiot is doing this on purpose." "Sir, are you done? We will get late for office," he said with a fake smile. "No, Mr. Secretary, I'm not done," he said while smirking. Youngi annoyingly nodded his head and sat back on his chair. After 10 more minutes, he was finally done and got up to leave. "Before we leave, I want to tell you something." He crossed his arms and stood in front of Youngi. Youngi was already very irritated. What he wants to talk now? He raised his eyebrows and looked at him. "There are some rules that you should follow," he said in his cold tone, so that Youngi gets scared of him. "First of all, you have to obey me. From now on, you will call me boss and do whatever I'll say. And don't you dare tell this to Dad. Then you have to face the consequences." Youngi in mind. This piece of shit. Youngi was really angry with Jimin's behavior. When Jimin was about to leave, Youngi held his hand and pulled him towards him. He put his hand on Jimin's waist and pushed him against a wall. Jimin could feel Youngi's breath on his lips. "What are you doing?" He tried to free his hand, but Youngi's grip was much tighter. "Hey, you fucker, leave my hand. See now what I will do with you. I will tell this to Dad." Jimin was now glaring at him. "Just shut up. I'm listening to you. That doesn't mean I will do whatever you will say," he said in his cold tone. "Your dad was the one who hired me here, so I will only obey his orders. He ordered me to look after his disrespectful brat son. So you don't tell me what I should do. So you are not the boss here. And one more thing. Don't you fucking dare talk to me in that tone. Show a bitchy attitude to someone else." Youngi left his hand when he was calm. He fixed his ear and gave a sweet smile to Jimin. "I hope it's clear, sir." Youngi smirked, looking at Jimin's shocked face. Jimin never expected Youngi to behave like this, because no one in the house dared to talk to him like that. "I'll be waiting outside. Please come fast." He gave a sarcastic smile and left from there. He screamed. "How fucking dare he talk to me like that? Minyongi, I will make sure you will regret it. No one messes with Park Jimin. What the hell he thinks of himself, huh? I should think a way to torture him. When both boys entered in the office, they were greeted by Mr. Park and other staff members. Mr. Park in mind, why is his face so red? Did they both fight? My angry bird looks in a very bad mood, as if he's going to burst out now. Mr. Park walked towards Jim and introduced him to the staff. He had no expression on his face. Dad, I want to talk to you right now. Mr. Park told his staff to leave. Now Yongi, Mr. Park, and Jimin were in the cabin. Jimin looked at Yongi, who was still standing behind him. Do you want special invitation to leave from here? Jimin, what you want to tell that he cannot hear? Jimin was very irritated. I don't want him to be my secretary, Dad. Please fire him. You know what he did today? He told everything to Mr. Park. Mr. Park looked at Yongi to ask him if it's true. Yongi smiled and nodded from behind. Mr. Park facepalmed him internally. Mr. Park in mind, oh god, Yonsuk was right. If I leave them alone, both will start fighting like dog and cat. Yongi was proudly looking at Mr. Park as if he did something good, because he knows it affected Jimin a lot. After all, his ego was hurted. Yongi, if you fight with him, then our plan will fail. Please, Yongi, I want my old Jimin back, he said pleadingly. I can already see some changes in him, only you can do it. When Jimin saw his dad whispering something to Yongi, he walked near them. Dad, he shouted, what are you doing? Tell him to get out now. Yongi was enjoying a drama Jimin was creating. But Jimin knew, no buts, I want him out now. You always tell me right how much you love me. Then prove it today. Either it's me or him. He was blackmailing Mr. Park. Mr. Park looked at Yongi with pleading eyes. This brat is blackmailing uncle. I need to do something. Yongi, when will your acting skills work? Today is the day you can show your talent. Yongi winked at Mr. Park, warning him that he's going to do something. Mr. Park immediately nodded his head, understanding Yongi. Small sniffs were heard in the room. Both Jimin and Mr. Park were looking outside to see where the sound was coming from. When they turned behind, both were shocked to see Yongi crying. What the hell? Why is he crying? I'm the one who is innocent here. Mr. Park walked near Yongi. There were no tears in his eyes. Yongi whispering, Uncle, cover me fast. He immediately turned around and splashed some water on his eyes to make it more realistic. He was now sobbing very loudly. Mr. Park immediately hugged him and patted his back. Yeah, don't do overacting, he will understand. Jim was only looking at them. He was trying to process what just happened right now. Sir, please don't take my job from me. You know my condition, right? If I get fired, then I will become homeless. Please don't do this with me, he said while sobbing. Don't worry, Yongi, no one is going to fire you, okay? See Jimin how sensitive he is. No one is firing him, and that's final. Sensitive and him? He pointed at Yongi to make sure he heard it right. I'm making it very clear to everyone. Everyone is going to listen to his orders, and even the staff on my behalf. He will take care of everything. And why is that? If you wanted him to do everything, then why did you call me here and waste my time? Jimmy, listen, I have not completed yet. Young is just going to help so that later you can manage everything on your own. Jimin in mind, I will not leave him. I will make his life hell. Now two can play this game. Jimin crossed his arms and looked at Yongi while smirking. Aish, what is this boy planning now? Dad, I have one condition. If you agree, then only I will work with him. Mr. Park raised his eyebrows and looked at him. He will do whatever I say. He cannot refuse if I tell him to do anything. And lastly, he will call me boss. Mr. Park looked at Yongi to ask his permission if he should allow Jimin or not. Yongi signaled him to say yes. Even he wanted to see what Jimin would do. Okay, I agree with your condition. Can you work with him now? Jimin squealed in happiness. He immediately hugged Dad. Mr. Park was shocked. After 10 years, his son hugged him. He immediately embraced him and mouted thank you to Yongi. When Jimin realized what he did, he immediately pushed his dad away. Don't think that I forgive you. I still don't like you. Jim, can you please leave me alone? I want to concentrate on my work, he said in his cold tone. Mr. Park nodded sadly and left the room. After some time, both were left alone in the cabin. Jimin was trying to read some files, but everything was going above his head. Jimin in mind, God, why did I agree to this? I was happy partying and enjoying with my friends. It's so boring here, he whined. Then I saw Yongi, who was working on something. How can I forget? When my secretary is here, how can I get bored? He said while smirking. Yongi, come here. I have some work for you. Now what he wants, he won't do his work and also wasting my time. Yes, boss, do you want something? Yes, please make me a coffee and also I want some snacks. Fix smiling. Boss, I'm appointed to help you, not to do your personal work. You can help yourself. I'm busy. Okay then, I will call Dad. Anyways, he is in his important meeting. I will disturb him. It's okay if he loses today's deal. Yongi gritted his teeth. Okay, wait, no need to call Mr. Park. for these small things. I will get your coffee. Yoongi left to get his coffee and some snacks. Now I feel good. Let me call Tae. He will tell me more ways in which I can torture him. Hello, Chim. How was your first day in office? And where is your handsome secretary? Yeah, let me speak. And that it is not handsome, he said with a disgusted look on his face. Tae rolled his eyes. Whatever you say, Jim, he is really handsome and hot for me. Jimina, I'm so happy today. You know, we cracked that deal which we were working on from so many months. I want you to work on that project. Yoongi will help you, okay? Mr. Park handed a file to Yoongi. Yoongi, this file is very important. Please take care of it. I can only trust you. Jimin in mind. Minyongi, it's your last day in office today. See what I will do with you, he said while smirking. Yoongi laughed. Better luck next time, dumbass.